Where the hell is Monvi? She's got to be here today. This is not optional for her on Wednesdays. See if I can dig her up. How's everyone doing? Yes, I'm also 24 hours late. I apologize for missing yesterday. We have a lot of cool stuff going on. I'm gonna have a couple games of my own. Again, new ones that I'm very excited to play test with you guys. Um, Looking forward to play testing your games as usual today, and because I think we are finally making a little bit of progress on this, even though I know it's the toughest part of this, talking more about playtime, especially because now we have our new creator analytics dashboard hub, whatever you want to call it. So we have more information. We have both median playtime. We also have P75, which basically says what does the 75th percentile look like. So you can see how long your biggest fans, or at least near your biggest fans, are playing your game, which usually is quite a bit higher than your median time, although not as many people do it. I think we've also fixed the frame rate bug. So yesterday it was saying everybody's game's frame rate was poor. That was not correct. I think most games' frame rates are fine. But I think now we actually have the data on that. And if you do find that your game does have a poor frame rate, that is almost guaranteed to be a reason why median playtime is low. So it's really good to be able to see that kind of stuff. Oh, and look, the master's here, DJam. How's it going? By the way, DJam, just want to thank you again in person on behalf of everybody for the document you shared. It was excellent. I've spoken to a number of people in the Academy who said they learned a lot from it. So thanks again for sharing that. For anyone that missed it, DJam shared this great document about how his game, City Rider, which is currently tearing up the charts and just demolishing everything else with amazing medium playtime and a ton of play counts, started off as like an okay game in terms of performance, but wasn't blowing up. And how methodically he just looked at response, read comments from players, and kept making improvements, and turned it from a game that was, doing fine but not great into like one of the biggest games on our platform. So very, very, very interesting stuff, and basically required reading, in my opinion. Yes. So the doc is in Astro Academy, but you are correct, Storm Hunter. It got lost in the what am I talking about? It got lost in the scrolling. So let me grab that for you. I will share it here. It's very, very good. Oh, even better. See, I don't know even why I bother. Pika's always 10 steps ahead. Thank you, Pika. Okay, I'm screaming at Monty. All right. Now, back to the business at hand. So, first of all, I'm going to check out the games in the queue, see what we've got. But before I do that, I'm going to do my new daily check in with everyone. First of all, has anybody, even one person, please, I'm begging you, has anybody noticed any kind of a difference in their median playtime?
Was that you?
Going.
Manvi, I was hoping you had adopted an entrance music thing, but I guess it's our usual attention getter. It's not Manvi.
That's you. I see.
Sorry, one of the other usual attention getters.
Oh my God. You are needy with the capital N, not me. But anyway.
No, I don't deny that. I don't deny that at all. I'm just saying I'm not the only one.
Sure.
Okay. So, all right. So, Manvi, you just joined us. What I'm doing now is I usually kick off office hours before we even get into playtesting games. We're trying to make more of a daily habit now of checking median playtimes, and if it's lower than we like, identifying changes we can make to the game and potentially trying to update them. So, one of the reasons why DJam's document is such a good read is because, as I mentioned, he's one of our most successful creators, and he went through exactly that. And you can see how, based on the feedback he got directly from users, via comments in some cases, but also how he just kind of interpreted things like play session lengths in the creator dashboard, he was able to make changes that increased playtime. So there's a few factors. There are one of the things that Astro Academy tries to teach is not so much how to make a good game, but it's how not to make a bad game. And the difference is that, maybe we can't teach you guys how to make a super popular game everybody loves, but we can definitely tell you the things to avoid that will get in the way of that happening. So the one I bring up all the time is things like download speeds. If your game takes too long to download on a slow connection, a huge number of our users are probably going to give up and just be too impatient. So fixing that is one of the most important things. But it's not just that. There's other things like onboarding, which I also talk about a lot. If there's too much going on before the game gets fun, you're clicking through menus, you're configuring options, you're doing stuff you don't even understand, a number of people are going to drop off early. One of the main goals of any kind of a casual game, mobile game, is to just get to the time to fun as low as possible. So that's another one. There's also things like frame rate, which we have not talked about much in Astro Academy, partially because it's a lot more technical and it's really, really difficult. It's a difficult thing to solve. It's just case by case. But now that we have this in our dashboard, you can see an estimate of your game's overall frame rate across many, many different devices. You can at least diagnose if it's a problem or not. And if it's not a problem, don't worry about it. Don't waste time thinking about it. But if it says that your frame rate is poor, what that probably means is that for a ton of people trying to play your game, it's just not running fast enough. It's too sluggish, in which case, of course, they're not going to play it, right? So those are three things right there that could be a major reason why your game isn't playing as well as you'd like with people. The final reason, the one that's the hardest to help with, of course, is just maybe you've done everything right and maybe people still just don't like the game. And one of the reasons I recommend trying to base your core mechanic on something successful, like an existing core mechanic that already exists, is to try to minimize the chance of that happening. Right? So if you invent a completely new game experience from scratch that no one's ever played before, maybe it'll be amazing, but you don't know that. The odds that you'll score a hit are not super great. It can be a little bit difficult to anticipate what people want in advance. So by choosing a game mechanic from a game that you like and that you know is popular, and then doing your own thing with it, being original, you're starting off on a much better footing if your goal is to get higher play counts and higher play times. I also always want to make this clear as well. If you don't care about play times and play counts, then you can ignore most of what I'm saying. You just follow your heart, do whatever you think is cool. That is totally valid. The point is not to make people feel pressured that they have to achieve some certain level of performance, because at the end of the day, Astrocade is supposed to be fun. But I know a lot of people do want to make a game that scores big numbers, right? And so making that at least a possibility is kind of what Astro Academy is all about. Okay, so that's my usual spiel. So far, Erica has posted some analytics. So you got a minute 22 on Undead Onslaught.
Mhm.
So yeah, it looks like you're doing great with this one.
There
This
was
is
an
an impressive.
issue with that one, Alex. So what happened was throughout like half the let's say 5,000 plays, I realized I
Uh,
did not have music in the game. So I had to put music in the game itself, and I don't know if that affected the performance or not.
Sorry about that. I stepped away for a second. You're saying you added music. I mean, was it your concern that the lack of music was causing people to not
Probably.
play?
Yeah.
But I don't.
That's
So
what I
that
was
I don't know.
thinking.
I mean, a lot of our most successful games either don't have music or the music is not especially thoughtful. It's kind of random. I don't think I've seen a lot of evidence that people even have audio enabled all that often. So, I mean, if there's a reason why you want to add music, like the game I've shared before, my chill runner futuristic racing game, that game is all about the music background. But that was a choice I made. I don't think people care about that. That was me just injecting that into my game deliberately. I think most games either don't need audio at all, like people are probably not listening in the first place, or to the extent that audio helps, it's like a nice level of polish. But I'm skeptical that it's going to have a big effect either way. Where music can hurt you though, and this happened to me the first time I released my chill runner game, is that if you block the game from starting until they've downloaded the music, that's going to destroy your play times, which I know you weren't doing, but that's just a piece of advice for everybody. Please do not make your game depend on music to play, because you're just going to kill download times.
Yeah, the
So
music seems to work with the game, so I'm happy that I put it. However, the game that I'm showing today is basically I'm redoing it, so I wanted to know like what I can maybe add to I guess the new one when we show it to see like how to I guess make it I guess do better
right.
because it's like a different layout, more monsters and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, music is great, and if you want to add music, go for it. My advice though is two things. One, assume that the majority of people playing your game aren't going to hear it because, again, audio is just usually turned off. And two, make sure that adding music doesn't affect things like download time or performance or whatever. It shouldn't affect performance, but just it's something to consider. Usually music is a pretty safe thing to add as long as it's downloading in the background and it just starts playing whenever it's ready. And if you do that, then it's fine. And music can be great, of course. I mean, everybody loves good game audio when they pay attention to it. It's just a question of how often people are paying attention to it, which is not something I can guarantee.
Do people get bored of the same music over and over again? Like, should we put multiple different types of songs into the game, or would that like just make things worse?
I mean, it's like anything else. I think that variety is great, but the question is, of all the things they're paying attention to, is the music going to be the first thing that crosses their mind in terms of what they kind of get used to or expect more of? Again, I'd say it probably ranks pretty low, but at the same time, if you have like a 20-second loop that just doesn't stop, then that might annoy people. But again, considering that audio, I think, is just not commonly enabled. A lot of people playing on their phone, they could be playing in public. They don't necessarily have earbuds. Um, I'd say as long as your music is halfway decent and as long as it's not getting in the way of anything, I would put it this way. I would rank many other concerns higher than variety of music. That's probably the simplest way I can answer that question. But at the end of the day, if you already have 4 pieces of music and if you can make them download without interrupting the game, then go for it. That's not going to hurt anything.
Okay, thank you. And yeah,
Toxic.
it seems like most of my games are getting close to a minute or like I guess closer to the 120 to 130. The Pokemon one got 140, but I know like my games are varying in like medium time.
Hmm. That's great. So these are games. How many of these games have reached this median time over the last few that you've published? Like, are these the majority of your games, or are you picking the highest performing ones?
I guess some of my more of my newer ones are the ones that are reaching the higher medium times.
And sorry, I guess the question I was asking is how many of these are totally original games versus remixes? Because I know a
Oh,
couple of the remixes, the
Undead
99.
is an original game, and then the 9299 Nights were remixes. So I guess it's a mix of both.
Okay, because the 99 Nights games, I know everyone's people either love them or hate them because there's so many of them. It was like one of our first breakout hit games. So it's kind of understandable. A lot of people have made remixes. That
Oh yeah,
game,
two
a
are
lot of it is
remixes
because
of 99.
Gabe,
Yeah, I see.
yeah, Gabe put a lot of effort into that game, and this is almost 6 months ago. And he really put a lot of thought into how to make the game engaging. And so remixes of that game kind of inherit a lot of what Gabe built to make that game very playable. So that's great. I encourage everyone to, if you want to remix a game and put some thought into it and make it original, that's awesome. But I also feel like because that game already had so much effort put into the base kind of game, it doesn't necessarily tell you a lot if you have a high median playtime. Whereas your Onslaught game, Erica, if it's an original game and you're getting a minute 22, that's a great sign. That means you just made a game from scratch that is working. So that was my question of how many of them are totally original versus built on a previous game.
Some of them are hard to tell because there was a coloring book. It says a minute 20, but the thing is, it didn't hit the feed yet. So I don't know if the organic plays are just making people just play it without hitting the feed.
Well, it's really just a question, not so much the feed, but a question of play counts. So if it's usually we say if it's under 2,000, the numbers haven't really stabilized yet. In my own experience, I have seen the numbers continue to change radically even after 2,000. So you kind of never know until you're maybe 5 or 10,000. At a certain point, it kind of hits a stabilization point, but that can kind of take a little while. So my other piece of advice that I've mentioned to a few of you individually, please do not read too much into the number if it's in the hundreds or even in the low thousands. You can expect it to change a lot.
Yeah, I noticed that. The one of my other games, and I'll let you go, is Frosting Frenzy reached a million, and that was the one on top picks. It's staying around like a 115, and then I have another one that's like it's a remix of one of them, but it's a tie-dye original. That's like the 127. So I guess some of my remixes of my own game and my original games are staying closer to like the higher minute times when they reach that million mark. Toxic said that that's common.
Yeah, no, that's the other thing, by the way. If anyone's looking for a game genre that has pretty good built-in retention or rather play session lengths, creative games like painting, filling in pixel colors, that kind of thing, those games tend to do really well. So if you're looking for a formula for a game that will have higher play session lengths, give those kinds of games a shot. There seems to be a lot of demand for them. Okay, you know what, guys? Sorry, give me 1 second. I gotta reboot Discord. I'll be right back in half a second.
What does rebooting Discord mean? I don't know. But how about we start playing some games, everyone? I can
Okay,
give some
I'm back.
feedback. Oh, damn
Sorry,
it.
no, please, Manvi, continue. Continue, Manvi.
I was just saying, I can start giving feedback as well as someone who has not been too much in touch with your games, and Alex has been very hands-on. Happy to give a very unbiased perspective, or as Toxic says, brutal.
That would actually be great. So, Manvi, how about this? Why don't you provide commentary on the games, and I will provide commentary on how you play the games?
I don't like that at all, actually. Um, wait, I remember, Alex, you wanted me to play test a game for
I
you?
did. It's not quite ready yet. We'll have to do that Friday.
Damn it. Okay. How about so how's the next set of things going? Are we starting and just doing some feedback or something
Yeah, so how about this?
else?
Why don't we jump into this? So we've got this submit your game channel, which is where the games go. We can start working our way through those games. And in the meantime, I also ask everybody, you can post this in the chat, but posting your median playtimes, whether it's a screenshot or you just want to summarize it, and we'll look at your performance. And if it's not where you want it to be, we'll help generate some ideas for you to try to make it better.
So, Alex, I got a question for you. I know IQ has the same one, which tells me that probably other people have the same question. It's really hard to monitor my median when I'm only getting 1 or 2 plays at the most per day. So I'm kind of in this position to where what do I do? Because honestly, I don't have a great 30-second on my game. It's pretty low. My
Yep.
problem is that nobody's playing my game so that I can see it move up or down. So I'm kind of like in this position of frustration, honestly, of my games aren't getting plays, so I can't even monitor their median. So what do we do
Yeah,
about this situation?
It's a great question. It's very frustrating when that happens. So, two thoughts. First of all, I think I haven't confirmed these yet, but I was talking to Gabe on Friday. We're going to have him join office hours to talk through the new analytics dashboard. So, you guys have noticed we have new tools. We have a little bit more information you get about your games. So, Gabe is going to talk more about how to interpret all of that and kind of provide some strategies to think about it. And he can also answer this question more definitively than I can. But I've had the same conversation with him. And what I've been told a few times is that you publish a game and it gets a couple days to kind of sink or swim, basically, right? And I think I gave you guys the rough metrics a couple days ago, which is if you're under a minute, you're kind of in the danger zone. If you're under about 45 seconds, it's almost guaranteed your game is not going to remain active and available to players. If it's over a minute, you're probably going to be fine. If it's over a minute 20, you're doing amazing and you can expect a lot of promotion. So those are kind of that's the basic breakdown. Now, if you are in that lower end and after a couple days you find that now you're getting no plays, it's a pretty safe bet that your game has just been completely demoted, right? Now, on the one hand, that sucks, but on the other hand, what that probably means is that even if we give it more time in front of players, it isn't necessarily going to skyrocket. So in that case, the simplest way to go is identify a couple of changes that you want to make, and then you've just got to republish it. You're welcome to republish, especially if you've made a substantial change. But that's currently the only real next step if you've failed to get through that first couple days with a play count, or rather a median time that would keep it going.
Okay, fair enough. And then my other
To be
question
fair, it
would
doesn't
be,
mean recreating the game. It just might mean, like I mentioned earlier, the major things, and I know you know these, but for everyone else's benefit, if it's things like a bad download time, bad onboarding, low frame rate, if it's any of those things, fix those things and republish, right? If it's not those things, then you have to get more creative. And you might have to say, like, I think this core mechanic is fun, but is it? And then my advice is find more playtesters. This is something we haven't talked about as much in the last couple of weeks, but I still think it's really, really important. The thing about a playtester is it's not just that they help you find bugs or they explain where the tutorial makes sense. You can judge from a playtester whether it's actually fun or not. So for instance, last week, Monvi playtested 2 games of mine. She playtested that Ragdoll Slingshots game. And I think it's pretty safe to say, Monvi, that you were just having a pretty good time just shooting slingshots at ragdolls, right? And then she play tested my Chill Runner game, which I put a ton of time into, all these beautiful visuals. And she's like, this game is just not fun, right? And so I feel like those were both pretty honest pieces of feedback. And sure enough, the slingshot game has gone really, really well. And the first time I released Chill Runner, it got like no plays at all. So I think one of the best ways to figure out, am I working on something that I can expect to kind of blow up and get a lot of plays, is do even your playtesters kind of just get lost in it, or are they playtesting it to do you a favor and just to give you some feedback? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, but that kind of leads me to my next thing. If I want to go to the website and I want to find one of my games on the front page, unless it's in player's choice for even myself to go and find that game, is so hard because there's so much stuff on the website.
I know.
And
I
even
know what you
even
mean.
if I wanted to go find your game, Alex, there's no
Yep.
way for me to do it unless it's in player choice. And then when I go to my feed, the first thing I see is the games that are in player choice. And they're already in a really nice, and I don't think that those need to be the first thing that I see. So my issue really is this a uh, game mechanic issue or download issue, or is this partially to blame because there's so much stuff on the website and it's so hard to navigate it?
Yeah, no, what you're also talking about, so you're talking about two things. One is just the natural tendency that games that have got a little bit of success tend to get a lot more and then they snowball. That's just kind of, its own thing. But the other
Sure.
issue is you're talking about things like surfacing, recommendations, and all that. Those are all hugely kind of open problems that we're working on, and we have a lot to announce, hopefully soon, that will actually be changing that pretty radically. I don't want to get too much into the details yet because we're still working on it, but I can assure you that will not be the case forever. So the problem you listed, which is hard to find games, it's a little bit overwhelming, things tend to get lost, is a high priority of us in terms of features. So sooner than later, that will be much, much better than it is now. That's just a function of us still being a pretty young platform that's getting a lot of, like, for instance, we just added followers and followers last week, right? That kind of shows you how much we're still in kind of a nascent phase here.
For sure, yeah, and I like all the new changes and everything like that. I just my issue really is just visibility. Some of the games that are in player choice stay there for months and months and months, and I would like us to either have some kind of a top curator. We got a chess section that nobody plays. I would really love for us to have some kind of a way to spotlight a certain person once a week or once a day, or someplace maybe player choice needs to be wiped clean and new games put there, even if they don't perform quite as good. I mean, if let's be honest, SpongeBob still does really good. It's always going to do good, and even if it's in player choice or not. And so, some of these games stay there for just so long that I feel that we're getting more and more creators, and as we get more and more creators, we're getting more and more good games, and as that happens, it creates this big snowball effect of lots and lots of games, which reduces the visibility on our games. And so by having certain games just stick it out in player choice for months and months and months, instead of just weekly getting rid of them and putting a brand new section of the top performing games of that week. Maybe not the best top performing games of all time, but for that week, if they performed well, they should be up there. And then the next week, we should wipe it and put new, fresh top playing games to get some of these other games popular instead of all these 99 Nights games over and over and over and over.
Yeah. Yeah. We hear you on that for sure. I don't think anybody would call the current setup we've got optimal. So a lot is changing in terms of what games we're surfacing. The other thing is we're still not really taking player preference heavily into account. That's something we're working on now. So serving up games that have more to do with what you seem to like in your play history as opposed to a completely static set of promotions is also something that is currently in progress. The last thing I want to mention, by the way, we just finally, added follower and following last week. And that's really part of a larger picture of, as a creator, can you build an audience? We use that phrase a lot, but currently there still aren't really great tools in Astrocade for that. You think about something like YouTube, if you start scoring hits with your videos, people start subscribing to you, and then you become your own best distribution, right? I mean, if you've got 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, your next video is going to perform a lot better than the previous one because you've got more subscribers to see it now. We're just finally introducing stuff like that. So for instance, Toxic, you've had a couple hit games in the past, right? And now I know one of your concerns, and we all feel this, all of us go through this, is even after you've scored a really big hit, your next game might just seem to go nowhere, right? Now, maybe that's because something about your game needs to be fixed, but it's also possible that you just didn't get lucky, didn't get the right number of eyes on it, right? So something that absolutely is already slowly changing, it's got a ways to go, is as we add more of these social features, your previous successes will help promote your future games because you're going to have followers and followings. You're going to have notifications to your followers that you have a new game out or whatever, right? And so as those features mature, you won't be starting from scratch every time the way you currently are. It'll be more like if you got some hits, you're starting to build a foundation you can build on. Whereas right now there is no foundation. You basically start from scratch every time you make a new game, right? So it's another thing that just because we're a new platform, that's not fully built out yet. But as it comes together, I think people are going to feel a little bit less helpless and less like it's random. Because if you got any sort of traction, you can build on that instead of losing it the next time your game starts from scratch. Okay, so really good conversation. Thanks for all the input. We do listen to this stuff, guys, so please keep it coming. We always want this kind of feedback. Part of what makes the platform work is that we're doing our best to listen. I will say this, so just for everyone to kind of keep in mind, we're a small team, and while we're growing, there's only so much we can do. And something we really care about is shipping stuff that we know works. You know, we could add 10 new features this week, but half of them might break, and that's going to drive everybody crazy. So we do appreciate your patience, but I promise you it's worth it because we want a site you guys can rely on that performs well, that runs fast, and doesn't frustrate everybody with bugs. So thanks again. And with that, why don't we get into the game playtesting? Are you ready to play something for us, Manvi?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. So we didn't play anything, right? So it's from the beginning.
No, it's been all just me talking for almost 20 straight minutes, which granted is what people want, but let's also play some games.
Honestly, I tuned out a lot. Yes. Let's do it. Okay, let me share my screen. So first is Vida. Okay. First of all, poster swap something. Okay. I like The Ring. Scary movies, fun one. Taking too long by this point. Okay, Vida, okay. FYI, everyone, I'm just gonna be super blunt. I'm literally the player persona. My attention span is really low. And I'm definitely a casual player persona, so I'm literally just gonna voice out how exactly I feel. This is no digs at you personally. I'm just trying to give feedback so that you guys can make awesome games, if that's okay with you. Or I can sugarcoat it as well. Whatever.
No, it's everyone should realize this. Manvi is what we call a bad cop. I'm more of a good cop. So I'm on your side,
You-
everybody. Manvi is here to hurt your feelings, but it's tough love. It'll make you all better creators. Anyway, with that, Manvi, please take it away.
Whatever. Okay. First of all, this looks, let me do this again. So loading, I'm not gonna wait this much. I'm not gonna read this much. If you directly get me to this page, then I'm gonna click on a movie that I like. And at this point, I do not want to upload any picture. And I do not want to choose, but okay, let's do this for the sake of it. What do we do? I don't know. I don't know what to. Sure, let's do this.
You know, Manvi, just watching you play this, I think you're completely right that whatever's going on with this game, there could be a really cool concept here, but this just feels like a lot of friction.
Yeah, that's a lot of friction, but
That was cool, though. It was kind of funny the way that came out. Maybe worth it. Maybe completely worth it.
But I just don't think I would go through this process, Mawati. It's too much. It's too many steps into this process. And transparent background. As a player, I'm not gonna have any transparent backgrounds. So I'm not gonna, it's a waste of time for me. As a player
Yeah.
who's there to just play a lot of games, you think for a second that I'm gonna stop and dedicate like 5 minutes into doing this. I'm not. But the result was really funny. This was very entertaining.
Really creative, and we always want to give people credit for being creative. This is a really cool idea. And
very cool
I think if you've executed your idea and this is what you wanted to make, then great. That's all that really matters. We always want to be clear that part of the goal of Astrocade is just to teach you guys what works, but ultimately leave the decision making up to you. So if this is your vision, that's great. If you're concerned about getting a certain level of play counts or something, though, then yeah, the odds are this probably won't score too highly just because of the whole friction idea. If it just takes too long to get to the point, then that slows people down.
Yes.
But very creative. We really do want to encourage people to try new things.
I agree. I wish this was my face, then it would have been perfect. But yeah. And next game. See, oh, 1 second. Sorry. Vida, following you. Next game. C
Great
Spark.
job.
Following.
Thanks for the reminder.
Oh,
That's awesome. Please get in the habit of following creators you like.
okay. Aim to tap and shoot. Okay, who the heck do I shoot? Let's see. Oh, wait, what? Oh, oh, okay. Blue. Yeah, I see. I got it. I got it. Okay, this is fun. This is fun. Ooh, fun. Ooh. Oh, Sheiks. I was gonna put it on the other. Okay. Ooh, I love how this feels. I'm having so much fun playing this. Low-key don't want to stop playing. And I don't also have any pointers. I like that, I have a challenge. This is kind of challenging. The challenge is minimal though. It's not like an insane challenge that it's ruining my confidence. Um, it's a pretty it's slow. It's like I can see by the time it gets here, I have to make sure that I will just remove the walls. Oh, whoops. I really like it. And it feels so good. And this is exactly the casual player, like, kind of game. I'm hooked. Thoughts, Alex?
This is no. So we played this a few days ago. I basically responded exactly the way you did, which was I was actually struggling to come up with even feedback because it's pretty much got it all already. I agree with everything you said. It's chilled out, but it's still kind of challenging. It feels really good. It's really fun. So I have basically no feedback, no notes. But the other thing I want to point out to everybody is if you just paid attention to the way Monvi played this game, this is effectively the most like ideal playtest session you could get, which is to say, she loads the game, it downloads very quickly. There was minimal, if any, onboarding or tutorials. She had no questions. She played the game immediately. So you see how quickly and smoothly she got to the fun part, right? It happened almost immediately. And once it kicked in, I mean, she's still playing it now, even while I'm babbling, right? So I think what we always want to go for is a game that has this experience. You get to the point fast, there's no friction, there's no confusion, and you're just having fun from the earliest possible moment. I know it's easier said than done, but you all just saw an example of what that looks like. This is really what we're all kind of going for, I think.
Black
It's
Widow Inc.
really
I
awesome.
have no idea about any games. Uh, not really in that genre, but hey, that means I'm completely unbiased. I actually play games from scratch. So, yes, I've never heard of this game. But this is awesome, C Spark. I am so impressed. I love this game. I
Great job,
really
C.
hope. Yeah. Next.
Next up, okay. And let me know, Mon, if you want me to play something. I'm happy to take over, swap back and
Okay.
forth.
After the third one, you can play the next three. How about that?
Okay. That means I'm playing Barbie Dreamhouse Defender after your game, which I'm very excited
You
about.
are.
Well chosen.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, IQ level up. Let's go. Follow for you. Mystery box mania. Oh, okay. There was a
Wow.
little bit of problem, but it's okay. I'm not too taken aback by that. But this is a lot of things. I don't know where to press. I just want to start. Where do I start? Quest? Sure. No, this is too much. I want to go back. Spin? Sure.
Sorry, what was this game called? I can look it up. This game was called Mystery Box Mania. So I guess it's kind of a mystery box of mini games, I guess.
I see.
Man, just side note, whatever this game is about, it looks phenomenal. Like these visuals are off the charts.
Daily rewards. Claim. Okay, I think I'm just like getting a lot of things. I just don't know what to swipe the arrow. Swipe in the direction I'm swiping. I'm not getting. Oh, okay. Oh, continue. I was not able to swipe. I was able to use the keys, up and down keys, but not really swipe. Okay. What is fuse? Okay, let's fuse some things.
I love how if
Um,
you ask, like, hey, what is this game's genre? And the answer is like all of them.
lol. Fuse. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's okay. So these are all like cards. Not really my genre. I don't understand all of this, and honestly, I don't feel like reading it. Uh, ah, okay, I don't get this either. First step, open the mystery box. Find your Okay. Oh, I did all of this. Box opener. Okay.
Mm.
Are you getting this?
This is like an entire app inside Astrocade.
Watch the sequence. What the heck?
So, okay, so my understanding, Manvi, tell me if you agree with this, is this kind of like a collection of mini games. You can kind of go through all these different experiences, and I guess you can just sort of rack up achievements from all these different games.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, but also it has a lot to do with like luck, mystery box, like I'm claiming a lot of things. Um, so I'm a little confused, I would say that much.
Ah, gotcha.
It's
Sorry,
a quick
no pun intended.
Ah,
No pun intended. Sorry, that really was not intended. Well, like I said, I mean, I'm blown away by how it looks. This just looks like it came straight out of like Supercell or something. Um,
agree.
so the visuals are amazing. As far like as a player, I definitely feel like I'm in good hands. Like this looks like someone put a lot of thought into this. So I wouldn't be worried about people thinking this is like cheap. But I do think just watching Monvi play it, I think I would have had a pretty similar reaction. This is like such visual overload that I wonder if people, even if they love the way it looks and are very intrigued, are going to kind of get choice paralysis. Like they hit this landing screen and they're like, where do I even begin? Do you know what I mean? I wonder,
Yeah.
because you've got so much content, clearly, maybe the biggest thing this game might need, and this is just going by my feedback, and Monvi, I know I'm kind of talking over you, so let me know if you have a different take. But I feel like maybe the way to put all this to better use is you've got all this great content. Can you sort of trickle it to the user where maybe they play one game and then after that you unlock a second game and they kind of build their way up to this instead of this being the first thing they see?
I think that would be better. Like take them into a game or like directly take them into like a spinning wheel or something. Like give them that first dope because for me when I first came to this, I was like, I don't know what to choose. Like I just wanted to see a start button. I just want to
Mhm.
get into the game. So showing me these many choices did not help me. It just overwhelmed me. And I feel like if I saw these many and if I was like a brutal player, I would just go next, swipe next.
To be
Yeah,
fair, just so you know,
I think if
like
you,
for
oh,
this
sorry, please.
genre of mobile games, completely overloaded UI is like weirdly standard. So
That's actually
it
a really
fits
good
within
point.
the conventions of the genre. But as a person who doesn't play those games, the UI is like overwhelming.
Yeah, maybe it's a niche. That's what you have to do more testing. But I just really do think that in Astrocade, though, because of the way our app is designed, it's designed to swipe through multiple games. So it's maybe players can be a little bit more unforgiving. But that's just my hypothesis.
Yeah, I
Thoughts?
think that so much effort went into this that I think I'd love to say this performs. I just think the biggest thing I'd be worried about that I would almost guarantee will sink it is that people who are swiping through a bunch of different games, they've already got all sorts of other options. Now this looks like a ton of games inside one game, and it's just, I think, going to be too confusing. And people are just going to move on to a game where they just tap the screen, and do something simple. But I think this game could also work as its own experience, provided it becomes a more gentle on-ramp. If I get something fun to do immediately, and then all these other extra bells and whistles emerge over time. Because the other thing we have proven with a lot of our best games is that even though Astrocade is presenting this kind of TikTok-like experience of quick hits, when people do like a game, they will commit to it. Some of our players get really, really into one game. So that could be your game, provided you get them on the hook in the first place. But if you scare them away with too much and choice paralysis and all that, then it won't happen. But yeah, that's what I'd like to see about this. I'd love to see this just kind of be slightly refactored into a more linear progression that starts with something simple and then broadens out gently instead of starting off maximalist.
And also another thing is when I win something, I don't know what I won. Like I
Mm.
don't feel dopamine when I hit like this is not enough, or I don't know. You won one key, I'm not even able to see all of this.
You know,
So
Monvi, I think I'm going to have to incorporate your use of dopamine more into Astrocade because it's a really good point. We talk a lot about the technical stuff of download times and all that, but I think the way you always describe the dopamine rush is ultimately the thing that matters the most, which is, do you just get a moment of like fun? Do you get like a thrill? Do you get excitement? So I think you've really captured it well. This looks beautiful and it performs very well technically, but at the end of the day, none of it matters if the player isn't getting that moment of like excitement, right? So I think that's ultimately the thing that matters most.
facts. We're all humans
Cool.
chasing highs, so give us
Exactly.
highs.
Especially Monvi.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. All right.
It's you.
It's all good. So speaking of
It's all
chasing
you.
highs, let's see if I get my own dopamine fix from Barbie Dreamhouse Defender.
Hey,
The
this seems like your favorite game.
it's all of my favorite things. It's guns, zombies, lots of the color pink. Like, what's not to like?
That's true. You didn't say Barbies.
Yeah, well, you know. So first of all, we are entering late stage Erica, which is Erica is now making remixes of Erica games that were themselves remixes of Erica games. So now we've got pink, Barbie, cake decorating fairy, first person shooter, zombie, destruction, death, violence. That's all in one game now.
I'll play the sound, Alex, because it's nice
Oh yes,
sound.
let me do that. Wow. Yeah.
Crazy.
उम्मीद है मुझे जो चाहिए वो मेरे पास बस उन
All right. Well, I love it.
I also added some more weapons into the
Whoa, 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 whoa.
closet.
बात
Oh,
तुम्हारी
sorry.
नहीं है
His
लेकिन
mic is
एक
open.
इंसान नेचर को गायब नहीं कर सकता जो मेरी
Yeah,
गर्दन
someone's
पे
got some
किसी झूठ का
background
इल्जाम
noise.
डालना ही होगा इसलिए मुझे दिखाओ एजेंट्स के नाम चाहिए मेरे बॉसेस को उनके नाम दूंगा ताकि
I
मैं
think it's Anna.
इस बात अच्छी है क्या होगा
Anna, can you?
Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you go to the closet, Alex, you can see new weapons that I added. Like, there's not only guns, there's like wands and stuff.
Wow. Yep, there is no shortage of weapons here. Okay, so what we're looking at, just to kind of regroup a little bit. So I haven't played this game before. This is my first time through it. All silliness aside, I do think the kind of the mashup of styles is hilarious, which is fun. What's working for me is that I didn't feel like I really needed any help. I just jumped in and started running around and shooting stuff, which is usually a pretty good way to go. So for instance, the closet, I didn't immediately notice that, but that's also probably okay because I had plenty to do instead. So comparing this like to the previous game had a ton of great stuff visually and it looked interesting, but it was kind of hard to tell where to go, right? Whereas in this case, I didn't need to be told to just run around and shoot, right? So I think one good thing to do in any game is have the central mechanic so clear that even if the player doesn't immediately discover all the Easter eggs, there is at least something obvious to keep them occupied and interested, which I think this game has. So we could probably talk a lot about the technical side of this, especially with the background music. There are questions I would want to ask about, like, is this game downloading fast and how well is this running on lower end phones? I wouldn't necessarily be worried about those things if they are a problem. I think they're very solvable problems, but it would be something to think about. I wouldn't take that for granted. It's a possibility that this game could perform well, but that might have some things working against it if it isn't a little bit optimized. But other than that, I think the concept is very fun. I think people like these kinds of silly contrasts, and I think this game does that pretty well. Although I do wonder, though, I've got these like really specific names, like Princess Suite, Fabulous Lounge, whatever. Is it just running and gunning, or do I also do makeovers or decorate cakes or something like that? Like that, I guess the reason I'm saying that is it's
Running.
kind of a question as a player. I'm almost wondering if I'm supposed to do something here other than just collect items and shoot zombies.
trying to have the rooms locked. So then, like, let's say wave 3, wave 4, so then you can go into rooms. But I kept getting this glitch where the doll would just laugh creepily and then would just block and then I'd be frozen. So that's why I had to keep the doors like open.
I see. So my suggestion for a game like this, because there's a lot of moving parts, there's a lot to do, a lot to think about, is first of all, actually, let me back it up. Other than me right now, have you done any playtesting with this game?
I play tested a little bit, but I think mostly just you're the one that's like fully play testing it because I just wanted to make it look like, I guess, better before I came to Astro Academy office
Well,
hours.
yeah, no, that makes sense. But what I mean is, if you do a little bit of,
Oh, did the unlocked weapon pop up? Because I was trying to get that too, and I don't know what happened to it. Because I know, like in the first one, we were supposed to get the unlocked weapon.
I see. Well, before we get to that, though, I think the most important thing to do is, oh, wow, look at that, arms on the floor. I think the most important thing to do is get a sense of how do people spend the first 30 seconds of this game. So you've seen how I spent it, which was even though I had some questions, those questions didn't stop me. I ran around, I shot some stuff. But then at a certain point, I got to the point where, like, okay, I feel like I've killed a lot of zombies. Now what? Right? Now, rather than explain that to me, I think the most important thing to do is to test this with a few other people and see how their experience goes. So there's two things I'm worried about, or not worried, but two things I would focus on. One is, like I said, do they immediately seem to have fun and know what to do, or are they confused and just going in circles? I think you've passed the first test, which is I didn't need any help to get started. Where I might need a little more help, and where this is where maybe the game needs a little bit more thought, is now that I've killed some stuff and run around, what do I do next? Is there a larger game that I'm pursuing? Like I see Fashion Closet, but it's not clear to me if I'm supposed to do something here. So I think your next task should be finding a couple other people, however you do it, in person, Discord, whatever you like, seeing how like at least two other people, seeing how they react to this game. And then based on that, you can decide, is this in a basic form that I can maybe consider publishing it, kind of like DJam published City Rider, and then see how the performance goes, and then maybe add or tweak things based on reaction. Because what you probably don't want to do is spend too much time building it in private, because at this point, you've got something basically working, but now you need to know what people want. You don't really know that yet, right? So a little bit of playtesting. If people seem to find it functional enough to just run around and have some initial fun, then I'd say, great, consider publishing it and then keep an eye on it and then start adding and changing things based on reaction to the game in the feed. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Also, check out the codex. You can see all the pretty animations of all the dolls.
Okay.
I agree, though. Like I do have to play test with everyone. I'm gonna hide
Wow.
this because I know it lags it, but I wanted to just work on like different animations.
Yeah, well, you've clearly gotten over your issues with the animation wishes. You've got tons of them, which is awesome. Yeah. So then the other thing I would do is I know it's tricky for you. Maybe if you DM me this, I'll try to do it for you today on my end. But I'll help you with the download profiling just to make sure this thing
Yeah, that'll be very
does.
helpful. I did order a computer, so I guess once that comes, maybe if I feel okay to use it, I could probably work with you guys on how to like probably try to work on that myself, and then I just get assistance with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, as long as you've got a desktop, it's actually very simple. It's all laid out in Astro Academy. I think it's lesson 7. So if you have access to a desktop, you can do it immediately. If not, I'll help you out with this one. Cool,
Thanks.
but very, very creative, very silly. I like silly. All right, so next up, we just played Barbie Dreamhouse Defender, and now we're gonna play Hexago from C-Spark. Now, I've played this before. Ooh, you know what? Actually, Manvi, do you mind doing this one? Because I have played it. I don't want to bias it. I think you'll like it, but I want to get your unbiased take.
Sure.
I'll play
This
Pixel
one,
Wander.
Hexago. Is that the one?
Yes, Hexago.
Okay. Well, C-Spark, looks like I'm playing your game again. Okay, let me share my screen. Cool. Okay, Hexago. I see. I didn't need an onboarding for this one. I already knew what to do. It was very obvious. Boom, boom, bam. Fun, fun, fun. Boom, 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 boom. Too easy, too easy, too easy. Give me something more challenging. Or maybe I should just wait. I love this. I think Black Widow Inc. also made something like this.
Yep.
I
Black
love
Widow Inc. is a game very similar, also very well done. And what you may notice, I think I pointed this out last time. I shared my screen when I was playing this to play another game, which has currently been a player's choice for a while now, called Park Pal. I think it's one of two parking games that were there for a while. And
Right.
it is effectively the same game, even though it looks and feels very different, which is that you have all these things kind of dropped into an arrangement, and then you have to untangle them in a certain order. And the combination of the very simple gameplay and this really cool kind of wiggly visual, I think makes this one work really well. But it is ultimately the same.
You can finish your thought.
Oh no, I was just going to say it's an example of how it's basically the same game mechanic as Park Pal, but because it looks and feels so different, it isn't obviously the same game at first.
Yeah, true. Um, and what I love about this was, I think this is a very famous game. It's on the casual category in App Store. I love the hexagon vibe to this. I think this is so like it's so original. Even though the game mechanic has been used a lot, but I love the new hexagon thing. So it's like playing a new game. But I do feel like this could be a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, that is a really good point. We talk a lot on Astro Academy about making sure you give the player that guaranteed win when the game starts to kind of keep them excited, keep them in a good mood, and to also kind of teach them how to play easily. This game has that in spades. This game does a great job of making the player feel like kind of a winner from the very first step. But I kind of had the same feeling, which is after a few levels, and this is actually where it differs from Park Pal a little bit, is I mean, you're on a level 11. I'm still not really seeing any major challenge. I just feel like it's
Yeah,
more steps and
exactly.
it looks complicated, but I feel like if you kind of go from the outside in, you kind of can't lose. Um, and
Yeah.
so that may be something to think about. Although I guess this
Uh,
one's maybe a little bit trickier, maybe.
it's really not. Like for example, I think Black Widow Inc. I played your game. And I actually lost a life in the first 3 levels. Black Widow Inc., can you link your game just
Actually,
to
that'd be
make
great.
our
Yeah, Black Widow Inc. You've also got a really good game that is a similar take. You should share it.
So I just want to like play both of them so I can kind of see the difficulty levels. Otherwise, C
Ooh,
Spark
good idea.
feels amazing. So easy to start, so easy to understand. I already like had fun, but it wasn't super addicting just because I didn't feel the challenge. Like in your first game, I felt the challenge. So it was addicting for me.
That is
But
great
I
feedback, Monty. And it's not feedback we get often enough. I'm glad you said this. We talk so much about making things easy, but don't forget to also make them hard.
make them challenging enough.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay. This is let me compare. This is Black Widow Wing's game. Let's play it. Arrow Maze. All right. Okay. Boom,
By
boom,
the way,
boom,
Black Widow
boom.
Inc. Great thumbnail. Love the use of color.
Oof. All right, all
But
right. Oh my God. Okay, okay,
in joke with
okay.
Black Widow Inc. We talked about the game's color palette. I do love the way this game looks. I love the clean, fast, simple look, and I love the way the different levels have like different color palettes.
Yeah. I find this a little bit more challenging. Like I'm
Wow.
paying way more attention than I did for C Sparks game, by the way.
So cool though. By the way, this is a
Yeah,
great example of how even though the game mechanic is very simple, both of these games do this very well. Notice all the little bits of polish. The way the arrows kind of scurry off, almost like lizards or something, and there's little radiating circles. It's simple, but not simplistic. Like it's an elegant kind of simplicity that I think is really worth trying to emulate for certain kinds of games.
exactly. I think the reason is this hexagon is like giving it away. It's kind of telling me
Mm,
obviously that it's gonna go that way. So
mm,
it's easier for me, but also hey, Astrocade likes like simple games. So honestly, you both should compare your games after a while on the feed to see which one's performing better. Is it the very easy game or is it a little bit more challenging, which is this one? So I prefer the little more challenging one, but that's my preference. And not really, maybe not the audience. So I don't know.
Yeah,
You
well,
have
this is
you have
why multiple playtests are so important. So Manvi shared her opinion. I would have a pretty similar one. You can maybe call that two people's opinions. But finding at least one or two more people and seeing if there's a pattern or if we're outliers is important.
exactly. Yeah, this is definitely more challenging just because it's all like lines and I'm
Mhm.
little this is more a little bit more easier visually for me to understand where it's gonna go. So it's just a little bit easier. Like I'm literally tapping with very little like thinking. So yeah, just something to think about. But yeah,
Cool.
cool.
Cool. Thanks, Manvi. All right, I'll play the next one.
All right, you're playing the next two.
Okay, play the next two. That's fair. You've done a lot, Manvi.
I
Okay,
know. I know.
this is Pixel Wanderer. Explore the peaceful world. All right, so my usual feedback, I very strongly recommend not putting tutorial screens up front. It's a lot of reading and people aren't going to remember it anyway. You should probably just find a way to show this to me in the game, but that's a minor note. Wow, look at this. We've got,
Whoa.
looks like some real asset loading. This obviously looks like a very professionally made animated mesh, which is pretty cool. So let's see. I am flying around this 3D world,
The
very
bee's butt.
bucolic.
Ugh.
You don't like bees, Monvi?
You know that.
No, but I mean, look, I don't. No one likes being stung, but I mean, they're kind of cute. They're like yellow and black stripes. They're like little cartoon
You're
characters.
alone in this.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so the game looks great, but here is to demonstrate the point I made about tutorials. I already kind of forgot. Like, I think it said spaces to land, so let me try that. Okay. So here's the problem. And maybe this game is brand new and we're just not here yet, but my initial feedback is whatever this is, I'm kind of having fun with it. It's fun to just fly around. So you've already done something right, which is you've made an environment that I kind of do want to explore, which is great. So good job. The problem though is once I kind of get over the initial novelty of flying around and seeing what's over this hill and blah blah blah, I very quickly run out of things to do. Now, I do think this game is early, so that's just some gentle feedback. But it's also kind of related to the comment I made about the tutorial, which is I was getting too much information up front, and now I'm not getting anywhere near enough information. So I would skip past that tutorial screen altogether, and instead, once the player's flying around and they've been wowed by the visuals and they enjoy just flying, which is really fun, then start giving me some objectives. And I think this is a great place to be because you can imagine if you gave me, say, I don't know, 5 quests that each took 10, 15 seconds, you could easily get a minute or two out of me just from following these quests because I already kind of want to do something. I'm looking for something to do. Give it to me. Do you know what I mean? So that's my feedback. I think this could be a really, really good starting place for a game that could be built on top of this. Sorry, whose game was that? That was
IQ.
IQ level up, right? No, it was high qualities.
No,
Sorry,
high Q. Oh yeah,
high
high
Qs,
quality. I
not
gotta
I.
stop
It was
doing that.
by high Q level up. No, that's not true. It's by high quality. Great job, high quality. Yes, the quality of the game is very high. Now I would like the purpose of the game to be very clear. How about that? Okay, great job.
Uh,
Great start. Put it that way. What's up,
looks
Monty?
like a lot of people put their no, only two people put their median play duration and everything. I think you guys can add these screenshots so Alex can kind of go through that and see where we
Yes.
can make
Thanks, Monty.
changes.
That's a great point. It's really important to do this again if it's something you care about. If you don't care about it, don't worry about it. But if it's something you're trying to achieve, then for sure, this is something to share. And in fact, actually, Manvi, I may have to ask a giant favor of you.
Ah, what?
So the next game, Rail Rider, I have played this game literally 10 office hours in a row, I think, and I love it. I would be happy to play it again. But it's so good, and we've seen the creator put so much work into it that I think they would benefit from a fresh playtest. Could I trouble you to play it? I promise you it's worth your time. and it's easy.
No, let's do it. I think I played this in its first version, so I'm
Oh, perfect.
excited to.
You can see how it's developed. And then there's a bunch of games
Yeah.
after that I'm looking forward to playing, so I will play the rest of the games, but I think it'll be good to see Monvi play this one.
Let's do it. Okay.
Thank you.
Be little. Let me roast your game. No, not really. I'm joking about that. Okay. Rail Rider. Let us go. Boom, boom. Bam, bam. Bam. Bam, 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 bam. Boom, 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 boom. Die, die, you die. Ah. Kill, 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 kill. Kill, 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 kill. Yeah, I like watching Smash.
By the way, everyone, this is why you don't need audio, because players like Monvi add their own soundtrack, and it's way better than whatever you would have come up with.
Bam, 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 bam. Okay. Weirdly not able to stop clicking.
We're picking up speed, going from 2.5 miles an hour to 3.5. Hold on tight.
I don't feel it.
I see a little
I don't.
change.
Do you? I don't
don't
see
see
that.
the
Oh,
wind yet.
okay. I just had a completely random idea. Monvi, tell me what you think about this, because you're the one playing right now. I'm watching you play, and I've had almost nothing but good things to say about this game. I think it's great. But something that just dawned on me, how cool would it be if like every fifth or even every 10th zombie was like really fast?
Ooh, that would be challenging. Maybe that's in like
Because I
wave 4.
Yeah, something like that. Because I just think the pace of the game overall is good, but I'm watching you pretty much stay on top of it, which I just think they're just slow enough that unless you really do something dumb, you're probably gonna. Well, okay, fine. So game over. But the point is, you weren't immediately killed by them. It might be kind of cool if, in addition to the slow zombies, every now and then you just get totally surprised by a fast one.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that would be like a little exciting. But it looks like B Little has really good median time.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. So look, it's 108, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, 108 is healthy. Like you're definitely in, good company. You're not doing anything obviously wrong. If you'd like it to be better, at 108, what that really means is probably more about refinement and improvement as opposed to like fixing a problem or something, right?
Right.
Um, so at this point, I think it's just this is more about getting creative. So, like for instance, I will say this though, I do think having watched you play that Monvi, which gave me kind of a new perspective, I feel like if there's one thing that might actually feel kind of wrong with the game, it's that it might be too many of these slow-paced zombies. And if you mixed it up a little bit with just slight changes in the tone of the game, so maybe something is fast, maybe something comes from a different angle or something, just to mix it up a little bit, because I feel like that first level, on the one hand, as good as it looks and as good as it
Yeah.
plays, I think you can kind of get lulled into a rhythm a little too early. And if you get lulled into a rhythm, you might like it, but you might also get bored. So I
Yeah.
think just injecting a little bit of also it's zombies. Zombies should have the occasional jump scare. Something should freak me out if it's zombies. So maybe scare me a little
Right.
bit. That might be the next step.
Yeah. I think like one dude like randomly running towards me and I have to get that. That would excite me.
Yeah,
That would alert me so I don't get bored. I'm more
exactly.
alert. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That sounds
Exactly.
like a good idea. But this is awesome. Even just like clicking, I was not able to stop clicking. I just kept wanting to click and then I kept clicking way faster. It seems like a clicker game. I wish there was like a bomb. I wish I could just bomb these people. I guess you have to open the mystery box for that. I just wish it just came to me so I don't have to. I don't know how to unlock these dudes, but does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, no, that
I
makes
just
total sense.
bomb them. Just want to throw something that would just be like and it would like kill everyone.
B Little also mentioned that there are running zombies in level 2. So on the one hand, you don't want to give too much away too early, but something to possibly experiment with, B Little, if you just want to see if it affects your median playtime, is maybe just move those running guys up to level 1. See what happens. The beauty of Astrocade is because once you're published, you can make edits pretty quickly without waiting 3 days. Try it and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. Ah, damn it. Okay.
All right.
Right.
Well, thank you, Manvi, for playtesting. I will play the next game. And the next game is
Sure. Awesome job, B Little. This is so good. So juicy.
yeah, it really is. You're really making Astrocade look good. We appreciate games like this that make our platform look good, and you've done that very well. Okay, Plankton Fun, another one of our solid creators with oh yeah, that's right. I've played this game before. I remember thinking this was off to a good start the last I think it was about a week ago or so. A lot has changed. Go up. Press space to go up. Okay, cool. Go down. Press shift to go down. Wow, this looks good. This has really taken off from what I saw last time. There's like a whole
Whoa.
little town. Look at this. Look at all this detail. This is super cool. So okay, by the way, here's what I'm doing already, which I think is a good sign. I know there's like a purpose to this game, but I don't care yet. Right now, I just kind of want to fly around and see what the whole world looks like. Um, I think if you can achieve that, you're off to a good start because the worst case is someone plays a game and they don't know why they're supposed to care. I think the best case is they also don't care because they're just excited by everything. It's like I don't care in a good way, right? So once I get this out of my system and I've explored and I'm like, oh, okay, this is what it looks like, then I'll be like, okay, now let's see what the actual game is. So shift to go down. All right. Pick up package. Land at the depot. Science. By the way, just side note, sorry to be a little pedantic here, but I do wonder, especially with an international audience, many of our players don't speak English as their first language. I wonder if cyan might be a little confusing to some people. If the thing I'm looking for is the cyan zone, not everyone necessarily knows that means kind of a light shade of blue. So maybe something to think about. It could be something that confuses people and they just don't know where they're going. So something to think about. Anyway, oh, by the way, it's also very confusing because the actual target is like a pale orange color. So that could also be a little bit strange. Um, anyway, okay. Follow yellow beam and land or press E to drop the package in the green zone. Okay, I'm a little confused by that. I don't know why it's giving me these options. Follow the yellow beam and land or press E. Okay, so E just means drop. I think it's the or that kind of messed me up. I think it's follow the yellow beam and then press E or something, right? Or implied I could do either one. By the way, I love the way the box hangs from the drone. That's really cool. Okay. Anyway, I think we're off. Oh, and I can collect stars along the way. That's very cool. Awesome. Press E to drop it. Okay, package dropped. Okay, so the general game loop here is very simple. I grab stuff, I follow the stars, and I drop it off. I think that's excellent. I think this is a really, really good idea for a game. Um, I really just have a couple little nitpicks. I personally think that it, it could be a little bit clearer how to tell people like exactly what to do. Um, but I think that the general idea is great. I think there's maybe a little bit of onboarding and instruction help that would polish this game a little bit more, but it's really minor because I think the core game is really great. Yeah, I'm already having fun. I kind of want to keep playing. Sorry, just checking up in the chat here. I kind of know what people are saying. So I'm seeing a lot of comments in the chat about kind of the angle. There is something slightly awkward about it, but to me, it doesn't really detract that much. By the way, I do want to make one important caveat. I'm playing this on my laptop, which I find pretty easy. What is not a guarantee is that this will translate well to mobile. And remember, please, everybody remember this. The vast majority of our players are playing on their phones. So if you haven't playtested on at least your phone, but really ideally at least one or two other people's phones, maybe they screen share, whatever, if you haven't done that, you almost haven't really playtested your game at all because you don't know how it's going to perform on the majority of the devices people use. So it could be that maybe the input is more awkward on a phone or maybe the frame rate is lower. There's all sorts of things you have to verify. So please make sure that no matter how well it plays on your desktop, on your laptop, whatever, you've done a lot of phone testing, because otherwise you're kind of wasting your time. I can say that right now this is great on my laptop. So if it's anywhere near this on a phone, that's great. But until we know that, it's something to consider. Okay, great game. My feedback is, like I said, please do some testing on mobile. If you haven't already, maybe you already have, but just make sure you've done that. And then I think you could maybe make the onboarding, the instructions a little bit clearer. I felt the use of color names was a little bit confusing. I also don't think you should necessarily tell people where to go with text. What's really good is just on-screen arrows that point me in the right direction, because then it's impossible to miss, basically. That might help this game a little bit. And in fact, Plankton Fun published median playtime. So median playtime is 53 seconds. Now I'm noticing there's two things here that are really interesting. One is click-through rate is 58.2%. That's actually very high, which tells me that thumbnail is getting a lot of attention. That's good. That means you can use it. Now, median FPS, it says optimal. That's a great sign. So chances are it is not having performance issues on phones. Good to know. You still don't know if it plays with the right input on phones. Like the input could still be awkward. Just because the frame rate is high doesn't mean it's easy to control. That's something else to test. Something I'm noticing that's kind of funny is it says time to first interaction 6.4 seconds. That doesn't seem like a lot of time, but that's actually a little bit high in my experience, because a lot of games there's something to click before then. The fact that no one's clicking anything on average until 6.4 seconds means people might be reading a lot, they might be confused by something. So that could support my hypothesis that there's a little bit of onboarding friction on this game. In any case, I think the game itself is fun. I think it's a good idea. So I think the two things I would worry about is if there's anything you can do to make control a little bit more refined. It may just be awkward. It may be difficult for people to keep their hands on the game. Something to think about. And think about onboarding. I know I don't have really specific feedback. I apologize. I haven't had a ton of time to think about it. But those are the two things that kind of jump out at me. So that's something to think about. And it's always possibly download time. I'm not really worried about that in this case, though, Plankton Fun, because if you look at the game, and let me just go back to it, like, other than like a couple things like your drone image, virtually everything in this game is just generated by the code. These were just 3D objects that the code made. Now, code takes some time to download, but it's usually much, much faster than heavy images and animations, and your game doesn't really have any of those. So I would be really surprised if your game were taking a long time to download. I would recommend that you test it, but in fact, we can test it right now. If I've got my... Oh, you know what? I don't have my throttle. Let's just try it with 3G. I don't know. How about this? Copy this, go into incognito mode, which I don't think I'm sharing my screen on. Thanks, Monvi. Let me share it. Actually, give me guys 1 second. I'll do some download profiling for everybody here. How about that? And I'll do it for your game as well, Erica, if you're still here. So what I'm doing is, in fact, you know what? I'll show this to you guys. If anyone hasn't seen it, this is covered in Astro Academy in the lessons, but we'll do a live demo. So I'm going to share my screen. So here's what I'm going to do. So this is Chrome. So if you're not a Chrome user, then either download Chrome or figure out the equivalent in your own browser. Firefox has similar tools. But I'm going to do Command-Option-I on my MacBook. This brings up the developer tools. And specifically, I want to go to the Network tab, right? And then under that, I want to disable cache, and I want to go under throttling, and I want to add. So I'm going to create a profile. I'm going to call it Astrocade. I'm going to set the download time to 3,000 kilobits per second, and latency to 150 milliseconds. Doesn't really matter what those numbers are. Just that's a good way to test download speeds. I'm going to hit add. Now I have this network throttling profile. Don't worry about the details. Just it's important to have that. Okay. Now, I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to have to share my screen again, but give me 1 second. I'm going to unshare. Now I'm going to open up an incognito tab window. I'm going to share that. And the reason incognito is important is because incognito tab will ignore previous things you've downloaded. So you're kind of starting with a blank canvas. So here I am in incognito mode. First, before I load the game, I go back into developer tools. Disable cache is active, which means nothing that's been previously downloaded is going to be used again. And I've got my Astrocade profile. Now, I paste in the game and I run. Check this out. Look how slow this is compared to last time. Taken forever, taken forever, taken forever, taken forever. Haven't even got the thumbnail yet, right? So some people that play Astrocade, this is what they get. This is what it's like. So the thumbnail never even, okay, it took forever to download the thumbnail, but if I hit play, this is very fast. This is 5 or 6 seconds, something like that, maybe less. So I would say, judging by this testing here, I am not having any major issues with download speeds. Now, this is very hard to play because it's also, when I do this, it shifts it into mobile simulation mode. So I'm now using my MacBook trackpad as if it's like a finger on a screen. So that's very awkward. Don't worry about that. That's why you need to do real phone testing. But this at least shows us that we don't have major download issues. Yes, the touchpad is the hottest input device of 2026. Okay, so Plankton Fun. According to this, I would say I'm not worried about download, but there could be other things to consider. Okay, cool. So that was a quick run through of how to do download profiling. Please always do this for your games. It's extremely important. So I'm gonna get back to our regularly scheduled programming of playtesting. Share my screen again and get through the remainder of the games in the queue. All right, next up we have got Cowcatcher from Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi, who says he's got a 1 minute 8, or she, I never forget, apologies, Abu Dhabi. 1 minute 8 second median playtime, which is very healthy. That's a good start. Cowcatcher, press space or tap to start. Very cute looking so far. Okay, so it looks like I am abducting cows while the farmers try to protect them. Oh, I see. Space. Okay. This is a very minor issue, but it would have been nice to tell me to use the space key. I didn't know that. I figured it out, but considering it seems like the main point of the game is using the space button, or space bar rather, it's probably worth making sure the user knows that. Okay, this is very cute, very fun. Oh, and there's a shield. Cool. Okay, so first thoughts. Like I said, game is cute and fun. It works pretty well. It's pretty responsive. It's playing fine. It's fun. It's pretty easy. Beam boost. Okay. If there's anything that would help me, a few things. One is, like I said, it'd be great to just have some quick text on screen or something saying press space to abduct cows. And then once I do it, that text goes away. It's just show it at first. The other thing is, I realize now that I have limited kind of beam power, and if I use it too much, I have to let it recharge, which is great. That makes sense. But given the way the game is laid out, I feel like my HP and the beam, it's very, very small. So I'm almost kind of missing it. I would personally, because it's a pretty simple game. You don't need a bunch of UI details. It's really just two things. I care about my HP and I care about my beam power. It'd be kind of cool to just make those a little bit bigger and more prominent. Yeah, I think I would just feel more connected, because right now it's like I just check on them every now and then, but I'm not really paying attention. I think it'd be better if the user was actually thinking about, ooh, now I can now I can disintegrate the farmers. All right, so what this game is doing really well is, first it establishes a very, very simple game mechanic, and then it builds on it with power-ups, and it seems like it's getting a little more difficult. So that's great. Good job. One other thing I'm a little bit confused by is that I thought my job was to abduct cows, but it seems like I also get points for disintegrating cows. I don't get as many points, so maybe that's kind of makes sense. But I think what might be kind of cool would be if I have to abduct the cows, disintegrate the farmers, but like not do either one. Like maybe I shouldn't disintegrate the cows. Might increase the challenge. Also, it'd be kind of funny if I could abduct the farmers too. I don't know if there's any purpose to that, but just thought that occurred to me. Might be a way to kind of balance the difficulty a little bit more. Because when you have a bunch of farmers shooting at you, it can get kind of tricky. That's maybe a good thing. The challenge is not necessarily a bad thing, but it'd be kind of funny if I could just abduct them to take care of that problem. Okay, so this is great, but now that I've been playing for, I don't know, 30, 45 seconds, something like that. I'm bad at timing. I am definitely feeling like I want more variety. I think you got my attention. You definitely got me playing, and you did the first job very well, which is hook the player. But what I don't think you're doing yet is keeping me on the hook. I'm at a point now where even though I've enjoyed this, I'd be ready to play the next game. So, couple thoughts. It'd be great to have multiple levels. I think by now I should have already beaten whatever this level is. So maybe I go from this to like a different environment that has different challenges. So it could be that you're always abducting cows. That's kind of the point of the game. Maybe that doesn't change. But maybe the next level has different scenery and some different hazards, something like that. Yeah, and in fact, the playtime kind of suggests that. 108 tells me that people do like this game. Nobody is like rejecting it. But I think it could be higher if you just give them more reason to play. Yeah, that's my main feedback. But I actually think you're in a position to make a change to your median playtime because I feel like if you just had a little bit more variety, um, we'd be we'd be in business here. And yeah, I agree with B Little. The environment feels just a little bit empty. I agree. If farmers aren't probed at all, I feel like you're going too far. You got to have the right balance, just a little bit of probing. All right. Great job, Abu Dhabi. I think you can definitely push this game a lot further because you're in a really good position. If you've got a good game, I just think you need to add more to it. Okay, next up, Highsmith's Clash 3D. Deadpool Clash 3D. Wow. Wow, look at this. Oh my God, look at this. We've got some legit assets in this game. All right. So we've got Deadpool in Lego form. Let's see. I'm running around. Can I move the camera? Yes, I can. Okay. Okay. There's very, very tiny instructional text. Press H to hold or hold click to put away katana. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I keep saying okay. It's because I'm just kind of figuring things out. I don't know what this is. There's this kind of jack-o'-lantern looking thing. I don't know if I'm supposed to. It seems like it disappears, but I don't think I'm collecting it. All right, so right off the bat, whatever this is, it looks great. But I am kind of getting the impression this is just getting started. If there is more of a game to be played, I am having trouble discovering it. So
saying
considering
press
how good this
T.
game looks, sorry, go ahead.
Press T to teleport is what he's saying.
Oh, press T. Okay. All right, let's see. Oh, TVA Portal. Lots of Marvel tie-ins here. All right, let's go to the Void. See what that's all. Ooh, it really is like in Loki. This is so cool. Hey, what's up, Batman? Okay, so I can chat with Batman. I can I can teleport. Wow. Oh man, this is look at this. There's like cutscenes in this. There's like cinematics. Good lord. I was not expecting any of this. Okay. So something very dramatic has happened. The Joker. I talk to the Joker. Okay, so I have a survival challenge. I have to survive the garlic aioli. Okay, something I'm noticing though is I feel like, can I not look up? It looks like I can only rotate the camera around me. All right, so there's a lot in this game, but man, it is hidden. There, whoa, look at this. This is pretty amazing. Okay, so I mean, obviously, I'm very impressed by a lot of what I'm seeing. The biggest challenge I'm having though is it's just not really clear what I'm supposed to be doing. You've got so many great assets in this game though. If you can just find a way to kind of gently guide me through all this, you would have something very, very compelling on your hands. Yeah, it's really just a oh, there's another void. It's really just a question, I think, of building a more structured game progression around all this. Also, I will say this, the other thing that's missing, there's two things missing. There's still not what I would call a core loop, at least not one I'm seeing. And by core loop, I mean there's no basic gameplay here. Like It looks like I can kind of swing my sword, but there's not much to swing it at. So you've established an excellent looking game world and you've got all these fancy assets. That's great. So the next step to me would be just find a way to make the fundamental gameplay very clear and very fun and very simple, whether it's attacking guys, whether it's meeting characters, whether it's collecting things, whatever it is, get that going first, and then build a larger progression around it. But very impressive start. So I'm very curious where this goes next. Okay. Next we are gonna play Chuckracraft from
Wait,
Chuckracraft.
what? Did he get approved to come back?
Not really, but I told him he's welcome to send me the game, so he can kind of do Astro Academy on his own. Yeah, we've had some issues with kind of just interactions with people. So that's been dealt with, but we still have the work from this person. Okay, so this person has built what appears to be a pretty convincing Minecraft kind of clone, which is cool. I played this a couple days ago, and I was very impressed by just kind of the whole 3D engine and the fact that everything really does seem like Minecraft. One thing that I didn't understand is beyond that, like, am I just supposed to kind of play it like Minecraft, or is there something else to go on? In the corner, it says Chapter 1, Survive Your First Night. So it's kind of cool. I mean, survival games are fun. But I will say that other than the intro stuff, there's a lot of intro friction. There was the story, there was different screens. As always, my personal advice is to minimize that, at least for a first-time player. Just get me in the action quickly and then give me access to gameplay modes, entering my name, that kind of stuff. But, you know, it's your call ultimately. I think my biggest issue, though, is I just don't exactly know what I'm supposed to do. Despite all that intro friction, there actually doesn't appear to be a ton of guidance. And it looks like we've still kind of got like kind of debug information in the corner. This here, I've got like my position, but I've also got the chapter 1 thing on top of that. It's a little bit confusing. But as you can see, there kind of is Minecraft style interaction with the environment. So I mean, that's cool. So yeah, I think my next step is just give me a very clear objective, make it impossible to miss, and then take it from there. But certainly a very impressive first step. Kind of like the last game. Looks really good, very impressive, but I think we just need a little bit more of a sense of what do I actually do here. Okay, now we've got a new game from Skull Hunter. Always exciting. This is Pixel Merge Mania. By the way, the AI makes way too many games with the titles with the word mania in it, or panic, or frenzy. I would love for us to change that. Until then, I do strongly encourage people, if you have a game like that with that title, I don't know, come up with something else. Okay, merge games. Everybody loves merge games, so this is exciting to see. I've become a fan of merge games myself. Wow. This is cool. So this is a merge game that has a lot of juice already. So you'll notice the first time I merged these two things, I got this very fancy screen. I wonder if that happens a second time. Yes, it does. All right, so it looks like it's merging, but I'm kind of building something. What a cool idea. I think I've seen something similar to this, but this is a very clear take on this idea of like merging for a purpose, like merging to kind of build something. I wonder where this is going to go. And look at this, I'm in a house. What I'm noticing is this game, unlike others, and maybe it's just not built yet, is I'm not seeing the kind of passive currency generation angle that a lot of these merge games have. I don't know if that's coming later or if this creator is going for something different. Both options are totally valid, just an observation. But I can tell you this, like every merge game, this thing is really capturing my attention because I like to see like where things are going. It's cool to see what they turn into. I think merge games tap into a kind of a natural sense of greed that we all kind of have, where you want to have a lot of stuff, and you also it taps into our curiosity. Like I've seen level 5, now I'm really motivated to see what level 6 looks like. So even though it's a lot of work to get there, I find myself really compelled to make it happen. Super cool. So this, I get the impression this is kind of in an early stage, but I'm already really liking it. I think this is off to a great start. And considering that merge games are on their way to becoming the new 99 Nights, where we just have 1,000 of them. But unlike 99 Nights, they're not all remixes. A lot of them are totally original, which is great. Um, I think it's really cool to see somebody doing something a little bit different. It's not just like kind of a card collection battle game. It's like a building game. So I love this. See, and look, you've got it. Office hours Nirvana. I am not even paying attention to the class. I'm just playing this for my own benefit. Level 7. Oh, look at it. It looks like there's even level 8, level 9, maybe beyond that. So yeah, I'm hooked. Really, really cool.
Yeah.
Skull Hunter, if you're here, what do you think about what I said? Where you are in the progression of the game? Is there anything else planned?
I mean, I already had one similar game to this, and I was going to make a builder one, which we are playing
Uh-huh.
now, and people seem to like it. And even without that cash generation and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that, they seem to love it because they are curious as what will the next level be, as you said.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Oh,
and
okay.
with
So
the
are you saying then that you're actually not planning on adding the currency?
nope, I'm not planning to
Oh,
adding anything
cool,
because
cool.
it's basically just the merge mechanic that
Yeah,
I'm relying on. And with
I
the
love
clean
it.
UI, people can't miss anything.
That's great. No, I think that's great. And I think I mentioned the currency thing because I kind of expected it because I see it so often. But I love the idea that you're actually trying to do something a little bit different. And if people are already liking it, I see no reason to complicate things. So, by the way, have you published this yet?
Uh, it's in review,
Okay,
but it
great.
already has 200 views. The
Okay.
other
Well,
one, let me check the other
I'm
one.
sorry,
That
cutting
one,
off. Go ahead.
uh, the other one that I already did really well. In the start, it failed a bunch, but now it has 1 minute and 13 median with
Wow, great.
over like 150,000 plays, if I'm correct.
Wow. That's excellent. Excellent. Well, I mean this for every game in Astro Academy. I want to see all of your median playtimes, but some games I have a particular curiosity about. This is one of those games. And the reason being is we know that merge games in general are very popular, but the fact that you're trying some new things means there's a lot we can all potentially learn from seeing how your game performs. So, very excited to see where it goes. Please keep us posted. Great job.
Righty, thank you.
Okay, now let's check out Belittle's Jewel Jolt. Belittle, another Astro Academy regular that we are always excited to see. Okay. Oh, so okay, got it. It's a merge 3. I don't know. I don't know why that took a second for me to register. This is very cool. So I've got 2 little hints. Oh, I wonder if it's like if I don't get it in the first couple seconds, it gives me a hint automatically. So let's see. Let me just let it sit for a second. Ah, yes. Very cool. This is kind of a nice way to go. Like a lot of merge 3s will start off with a hint, but this one keeps them coming. Interesting idea. Another thing we're getting from some of our data is we are seeing that people definitely like games that kind of do a lot of handholding. We can debate whether or not you want to make games of that sort, but there's definitely evidence that people really like it when it's hard to completely fail and when the game kind of just, I don't know, keeps them feeling productive or keeps them feeling like they're doing the right thing. So I really like this approach. Um, Other than, ooh, actually, now I'm curious what that is. Whoa! All right, we have some very interesting juice effects here. That's cool. Other than that, it seems, unless I'm missing something, it seems pretty standard. I guess maybe the time limit. Not every merge 3 has a, or sorry, match 3 has a time limit. Some of them do. So Belittle, I'm kind of giving you basic initial reactions. Where are you here? This is the Blitz version. Got it. Okay. So where are you in the kind of the production of this game? How much more stuff you're adding, tweaking? Have you tested it? Give us an overview of where you are so far. Oh wow. Okay, well geez, for an hour, this is amazing. So if it's only an hour old, I don't want to get too much into feedback because you've clearly got a lot of exploring left to do. But a couple things I'll tell you is The jewels look great. The behavior is pretty good. Sorry, by behavior, I mean like the animation, the juice, that's all great. And I like this kind of auto hint thing. I like the idea that it just automatically tells me what to do if I don't do it too fast. That's pretty cool. I'm also curious if this kind of mechanic will have a positive effect on playtime. I could imagine it might. It's a hypothesis. We'll find out. So if you've just started, I'm not going to get too deep into the feedback, like I said. But if it isn't already obvious, something I think would be great about a game like this, because you have all this empty space in the background, it'd be really cool if you gave this game maybe just like a bunch of different environments. Maybe every level it changes, maybe every 2 levels, something like that, whatever. Just to because you've got this core mechanic that, of course, is tried and true. Match 3s usually work out pretty well, but it'd be nice to just add some fun themes and kind of atmospheric stuff. But good start. Okay, next up, 1,000 Sunny Sails. Wait, another Be Little. Be Little is just cranking them out. Let's see what you got next, Be Little. 1,000 Sunny Voyage. Oh my God. All right. Well, we've had a couple pirate ship games recently, but it looks like Be Little is looking to blow them all off the map. Whoa. All right, so I'm just kind of moving my ship around. I'm not sure what that happens. Island discovered. Okay, can I get on? So it says island discovered, although it still says islands 0 out of 8. But that's all about. I'm having a little bit of trouble moving. I can move the camera, no problem. Oh wait, there we go. Got my knots up again. Okay, let's see if this island behaves differently. I mean, ooh, Marines approaching it. Okay, so I've discovered an island, but it doesn't seem to do anything. Oh, wait, no, they shot me. I didn't shoot them. I don't know if I have the ability to shoot cannonballs. Sorry, by the way. I love the music, but at some point, got to get back to the commentary. Good sound effects too. I like the lapping sound of the water. Okay, so this feels like a demo. Wait, no, I just noticed it. We've got instructions at the bottom. WS throttle. Okay, A and D steer fine. Click to lock the camera. Space to boost. Oh, F to fire the cannons. Okay, there we go. Wow, I'm not sure what that was all about. But let's see. F, fire the cannons. Got it. Okay, cool. Space is boost. Jeez, that is a serious boost. Okay, so I've just given you some off the top of my head thoughts. Let's get back to the chat. Yeah, it can parkour. I am parkouring in a pirate ship. Okay, let me restart this because now that I know what to do, this game seems very early, so I'm not gonna like the last one. I won't get too into it, but I will say this though. Look at this. Unless I rotate the camera to see it with the ship, it is very hard to see that instruction text at the bottom of the screen. Ooh, I can shoot 3 cannonballs at once. That's pretty cool. Oh, okay, so I found it. All right, so right off the bat, it's a little bit confusing that I'm supposed to find the legendary islands. Like I get that now, but maybe the island counter should say legendary islands 1 of 8 or something. And I don't know. Didn't seem super clear at first. I'm having some trouble moving. Like I get that it's a pirate ship. Pirate ships are not sports cars. I understand that, but it seems like it's pretty easy to get caught up in corners or something. Maybe make the collision a little bit more forgiving. But overall, it's good. I mean, it's a pirate ship. It's supposed to drift and be kind of lumbering. That's fine. And once I'm on the open water, I feel like it's actually pretty easy. I'm wondering if I can get another enemy encounter now that I know how to shoot cannonballs. Yeah, this actually does perform pretty well. Oh, cool. Got like a storm cycle. Yeah, it seems like the enemy encounters are fairly random. Maybe it's triggered by discovering islands. Who knows? Okay, I'm assuming this is not a legendary island. Okay. I think I'm going backwards now. Yeah, it's I mean, look, overall, I think there could be something really fun here. I think, oh, how about this? Maybe one issue with a game where the control scheme is inherently kind of slow and sluggish because it's a pirate ship. That's kind of standard. Two thoughts. One is you might consider just making it artificially responsive and nimble. It may not be realistic, but it might just be a little bit more fun for players to be able to move around a little bit more quickly. That's a creative choice, though. I leave that to you. And it's really not that bad. Once I kind of get in the groove, I actually feel like I can move around fairly well. But like with the other game, and I'm sure this is in an early stage here. I feel like I don't have an immediate sense of purpose. I want the core loop of the game. Oh, here we go. All right. Press F to fire the cannon. That's on me for not seeing that last time, by the way. I'm really good at missing obvious instructions. Is that him? What is that in the horizon? What? Oh, is that a lighthouse, I wonder? Maybe not. It said marine approaching, but I'm not seeing my opponent. Anyway, finish what I was saying. Oh, is that the moon? Okay. To finish what I was saying, this game needs more of a core loop. And by core loop, I mean like a central game mechanic. So for instance, it could be, and I wouldn't say discovering islands counts. I think that's too much of a meta loop kind of thing. The core loop could be fighting other ships and winning battles. It could be just collectible things that are over the water that I collect. That's probably a little too simple, but something like that. Some simple thing that I do a lot of to get me engaged in the game. And then you can add in things like discovering islands and all the kind of meta loop stuff. So that would be my suggestion. But I mean, you've got crazy assets and all this cool stuff. So I think you're in a good position to do that. All right. Very cool. We're running out of time here, unfortunately, so I'm going to try to go quickly. I will get to as many people as I can. If not, please show up tomorrow. We'll be back. Destruction Simulator. I'm glad it's being simulated and not real. Ooh, this is a very intriguing start. Play. Okay. Sorry, guys. I always advise against this. This is too much to read. I would find a way to incorporate this interactively into the game instead of making me read. But I will indulge you this one time. Goal, blow up buildings, collect bricks, sell for coins, buy better weapons, destroy more. Okay, this is a great loop. That's awesome. I just think don't make it text. Walk me through it in the game. And then here you got controls, aim, click, fire, space, jump, blah, blah, blah. All right. So it looks like my job here is to destroy stuff. Let's see. It's pretty fun. It is pretty fun. And then oh, whoops, I should not have hit the space button. Okay, so let's break this down, everybody, because I actually think, other than my nitpick about that tutorial screen, I think this game actually does a lot of what we're always asking to do, which is, first of all, it's got a great core loop. That core loop is just blowing up buildings. Like, this is just kind of fun on its own, right? So we've got something fun to do. It'd be really cool if there was like gravity for these blocks. They would automatically collapse when there wasn't anything under them, but that's, again, nitpicking. So the core loop is blow stuff up and collect, blow stuff up and collect. That's great. Now we've got this selling pad, kind of like grow a garden, where I can sell stuff. Wait, can I? Is that automatic? I don't know. Let's see, but let's go to shop. Oh, minor note, by the way, is it me or am I not seeing on the shop screen? I feel like your shop screen should always show you how much currency you've got. I have to go back to see that I have 100 coins. So I would find a way to put this here. Anyway, I've got a bunch of cool stuff. So let's just buy the mega launcher because I have money. So now this is demonstrating the, there's enemies. Wait, are there? Oh, no, there's not. No, there's not. That's just me collecting blocks. That's fine. Okay. But what I was trying to say is we've got the core loop, which is blowing stuff up, and we have the meta loop, which is selling it and upgrading items. Let's see what this mega launcher does. Wow, this mega launcher is super cool. So guys, really, this is a great example of how to structure a game, because the core loop is fun. I kind of just want to do it because it's fun to do. But then the meta loop gives me purpose to play long term, because I want to sell stuff and I want to upgrade them and I want to buy more stuff. And it looks like the selling is, oh wait, no, it's not. Is it automatic? I guess it's automatic. Yeah. And then I can buy more stuff. I mean, I've got the biggest weapon other than the one I can't afford. I'll get the large capacity pack. Oh, great. So I can upgrade my weapon and I can upgrade my ability to hold blocks. Yeah, I don't know. I really like this. So if I were to get super nitpicky, I would say I kind of wish I could move faster. It feels a little bit sluggish. Minor note. And like I said, it'd be awesome if the bricks had gravity and they would fall when they were not supported. Also, a minor note. Neither one of these things are deal breakers. I think this is otherwise a great example of how to make a game like this. It's fun, but it's also got long-term engagement. Really good. Really, really good. Good job, John Wick. Oh, you can change the map. Okay, well, so I was already into it. I was already having fun, but if I can look at this, I can go to like other places. This is amazing. So great job adding all this variety. Although I would be worried about how this might not perform great on low end phones. That's a testing issue. Maybe one suggestion though is you put all this work into having 3 different levels, and maybe you're going to make more, whatever. That's awesome. That's really, really great. But I don't know if I would just put that in a menu for people to choose. I think I would make that kind of a game progression thing too. Like I have to unlock access to these other maps. Just to make the game more of about progression as opposed to just having instant access to everything. But again, minor note. I think you've done a great job. Feels like a very legit Roblox game. Really, really nice. Okay, let's check out Upgrade Edit's Mine Turtle Space Adventure. Ooh, looks like it's a catapult-based game. These are always fun. Drag back to launch. A little bit tricky, but wait. Can I not? Okay, so right off the bat, this light green on light blue, it's very hard to see. It was not a great launch, but I feel. Oh, it's like Cappy's Flight Adventure. I can keep tapping. Got it. Okay, I would also love to see the character rotate. The fact that I'm always pointing in the same direction makes it kind of feel like the physics are broken. And I don't know if I need to see the leaderboard on the screen. Like maybe that's on the title screen, but I feel like it's kind of getting in the way of my view. But sorry, these are minor nitpicks. Oh, I finally got it going. Okay, here's the right angle. Here we go. Okay. Not as much forward momentum as I would have liked. But I think this game needs some tuning. Let me just start over, but I like it. It's a great concept. I want to see the character rotate properly. I want to see the trajectory angle show up better. And I just want it to be a little bit easier. For some reason on desktop, maybe it's better on mobile. On desktop, I'm having trouble dialing in the right angle. But that's just a tuning issue. Because I think, oh, the power-ups are cool. And you got a lot of them, which is also great. Yeah, no, ooh, look at that. Wow, cool background stuff. Okay, yeah, I think you've got a great concept here. It's like Cappy's Flight Adventure, which has been one of our most popular games for a very long time. So you're taking the right kind of inspiration. I think the only thing I would suggest are these little edits. Oh, maybe I'll just go forward. Maybe going forward is the move. I also feel like there's some jumping. Like it looks like I teleport a little bit sometimes when I hit the power-ups, which is a little bit confusing. I don't know what that is. But just some more minor feedback. Yeah, thank you for sharing your game, John Wick. Great job. And by the way, let us know how this game performs. If it has not been published yet, please do so and give us a sense of what the performance looks like. I would expect this game would do pretty well. That'd be my guess, but you never really know until you publish it. Anyway, good job, Upgrade Edits. I like your game. I just think it needs a little bit of tweaking. Needs some balance. We're going to do one more, and then I got to run. We're going to do Glass Breaker from IQ Level Up. Ooh, look at this. IQ Level Up always makes very polished games. In this game, ooh, wow, okay. This is slower than I'm thinking. Okay, let me try to... Yeah, good point, good point. Oh, yes. That is very satisfying. You'll notice I'm playing not so great. And I think one of the reasons for that is I am really I'm really caught off guard by the fact that the projectile moves relatively slowly. I don't know if that's intentional. If it is intentional as a challenge, it's kind of a cool idea because I have to adapt my playstyle. Personally, though, I feel like it'd be a little bit more satisfying if it were quicker, just because I feel like it would kind of unlock a faster style of play. Although I'm kind of getting used to it. Whoop, maybe not. Maybe not. But other than that, that's my first thought. But the concept is great. It looks really polished. It feels really good. It's got all these nice details dialed in. And yes, the animation and the sounds are very, very satisfying. That's really, really nice to say. The other thing that I might suggest, though, especially when I'm imagining mobile screens, is it might all be a little bit too small. I wonder if you could just make the visuals, the targets a little bit bigger. Not even so much, wow, I'm bad. Not even so much because of the gameplay, but just because if you're going for satisfying, it might just be a little bit too much on the small side. Like they're these kind of tiny little icon size things instead of feeling like big glass objects. I don't know if that's the way to go. I offer that up as something to think about. But it's also something else that kind of hit me at my first impression. But other than that, I think it's great. You've got an original concept. I agree with Storm Hunter. I like the smashing. It feels good. It looks pretty good. I am really thrown off by the slow speed of the projectile. I'm used to these kind of games just having relatively fast projectiles. But if you're going for something different, then maybe that's worth sticking to. Ah, God, why am I so embarrassingly bad at this? There we go. Another possibility, by the way, this is just something to think about. I don't even know if this is a good idea, but it's a common trick in games like this to make the hitboxes a little bit more generous, like make the target hitbox a little bit bigger, make the projectile hitbox a little bit bigger. That's another idea, by the way. Maybe the projectile could just be bigger. It's almost like I'm throwing bowling balls at glasses. That might be kind of fun. Or it's something you can unlock or something to think about. But the reason I say that is because it's a relatively simple game, and I think sometimes simple games benefit from being kind of erring on the easier side, because when a game just feels kind of effortless, it encourages you to just play longer because it does feel satisfying and it does feel like rewarding. It's a question for you to answer yourself because you may not want to make a game that's so easy, which is valid, but it's something to consider as a possible way to just draw the player in and keep them looping over and over. Really cool concept, though. Yeah, agreed. Nice and simple. Well done. Okay, well, that's our last game. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Right. The thing about a carnival, though, is carnivals, they're trying to get your money, right? So it kind of makes sense. Um, so I wonder, though, in a case like this, if that may have the opposite effect. If people feel like it's kind of hard to play and that makes them play less. Yes, exactly. There should be plushies that I win. That's the other thing that carnival games have. And you can have like a trophy case where you can collect giant stuffed animals that you win from a game like that'd be a really cool addition. So I offer it as something to think about. Like I said, I see what you're going for. You want to capture that kind of like the playing field is kind of tilted against you, like at a carnival, which is a clever idea. How about this? I would suggest publishing it like this, seeing how it performs, and then if, hypothetically, if it doesn't perform the way you want, then maybe try making the game kind of the opposite, making it easier, making it harder to lose, see what that does to the numbers, just out of curiosity. That's something to think about. But either way, I really do like the idea of adding prizes. That would be a lot of fun. Cool. Well, guys, this was great. As always, the games are so impressive. And please, now that we've got so many games in the mix, please, if you haven't published, publish them. And if you have published, share your medium playtime. And if you have shared your medium playtime, let's talk about ways to improve them. All right. Thanks again, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Farewell.